They finally addressed this. A lot of Mavericks fans would agree that this last season was filled with nothing but heartache, injuries, losses, more injuries, dumb trades, more injuries, to the point where a lot of fans believe that next season will be a repeat of this last season, where the Dallas Mavericks will continue to have injury after injury after injury. And I mean, if you look at it, Kyrie's already out, maybe back in January, possibly late December, but there's Anthony Davis, where everybody thinks he's very injury prone. PJ Washington missed a lot of time last season, only playing in about 50 games. So yes, a lot of people believe that next season will repeat itself. But we found out just the other day that maybe things are looking good, as the head trainer for the Dallas Mavericks was finally let go. He was fired. Nico kicked him out in a desperate attempt to try to win the fans back. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what happened with the head trainer, why was he even put in that position in the first place, and what can the Mavericks do in the future to prevent last season from ever happening again. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavericks Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we are currently sitting at 20,375 subscribers. And like always, it may be the offseason, but it's not my offseason. In between all the NBA prospect videos that I'm doing of all the lottery pick players, I'm still going to deliver the amazing on-brand Mavericks news that y'all have learned to love from me. So if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, make sure you're subscribed. But like I said, the Dallas Mavericks have been dealing with a lot of injuries all season, and a lot of people would think that maybe it's just a freak accident. I mean, injuries do happen, it's a part of the game. Nico Harrison said it himself that a lot of these injuries were from contact, things you can't really prevent with your medical staff when it's happening in a game. And I would agree. Kyrie Irving getting hurt, there's nothing we could have done. It was a freak accident. He landed wrong. He got pushed. His foot hyperextended. That's how he tore his ACL. That is the truth. Other than that, you can prevent further injuries by taking care of players when they're recovering. Perfect example is PJ Washington. Towards the end of the season, where he had to miss more time due to another ankle sprain, he even said it himself that maybe he came back too soon. Maybe he needed a little bit more time before he came back, and that obviously made sense. So it goes beyond just getting injured in the middle of a game or the middle of a season. It's how do we prevent these players from getting hurt again within the same season and for even more significant time, so the team can actually compete, gel with each other, learn how to play and win games together, as we have a lot of new faces now. But to put it into perspective, last season, you may want to pause this to take a look at it, but last season the Dallas Mavericks were the #1 team in NBA wins missed. The #1 team, the Dallas Mavericks, and I want to give the players the appropriate amount of credit for the fact that we were not the worst team in the NBA. We did not finish the season at the bottom of the NBA. Otherwise, we'd have the best odds at getting the #1 pick, but we don't. We still made it to the play-in, made it to the second round. We got knocked out, so that's a testament to the players and Jason Kidd, the whole coaching staff, on how they're able to maneuver amongst all these injuries and still get wins. But if you take a look at the very bottom of this, I know it's probably hard to see, but the team that had the least amount of wins missed because of injuries is the New York Knicks, the same team that Casey Smith went to after the Dallas Mavericks fired him, after Nico fired him. So, I mean, maybe if we still had Casey Smith, maybe we'd also be a lot healthier. Maybe some players would get traded. But you can't dwell on the past, but it is a good thing because it was reported just the other day, the Mavericks GM Nico Harrison is making major changes to the team's health and performance group again. Among the dismissals, athletic performance director Keith Belton, Harrison's hire last summer, and head athletic trainer Dionne Calhoun, which is amazing. Now, Keith Belton and Dionne Calhoun, those are two big names. Obviously, there were more people that were let go. Not really prominent individuals, most likely assistants. But Keith Belton is the #1 person that I personally wanted to see go. Who is Keith Belton, you may say? I did a little bit of research on him before this video, and just to put it really quickly, he does have some experience as a head trainer. He was working for a college football program as their trainer, so I can't be too upset with him. He was somebody that just wanted to further his career. Nico Harrison gave him opportunity, but according to a lot of reports, he was a yes man, doing and saying whatever it is that Nico Harrison wanted him to do or say. So yes, you wanted to progress your career, you wanted to move up from college to the NBA level, cool. But you lost a little bit of integrity when you were just doing whatever your boss was saying and not what you needed to do. And just to bring this up, because a lot of people seem to forgot, Derrick Lively II, a 21-year-old center who projected as a long-term cornerstone, was listed as questionable on January 20th because of a right ankle sprain after sitting out the previous 2 games. Under Belton's supervision, Lively went through an intense return-to-play workout before sitting out again that night. The plan was for Lively to play at home 2 nights later against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but Billsboro had concerns, prompting him to send Lively for a CT scan. It revealed a stress fracture in his right ankle that sidelined the center for the next 2.5 months. And I want to also make something clear, is that Lively didn't just do 1 intense return-to-play workout, he did 2 intense return-to-play workouts, but it was Billsboro who said, hey, maybe we should do a scan. Maybe it's not just an ankle sprain or a foot sprain, it may be something worse. We should do a scan before we actually have him go back out there. There was a little bit of a clash between Billsboro and the other trainers, Keith Belton, until he finally did get the scan revealing the foot fracture, and he was out for 2.5 months. But it's the fact that Derrick Lively went out and did 2 intense practices with the thought to come out and play a few days later with a foot fracture that they didn't even scan for. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely irresponsible, not let alone Derrick Lively missing time because he's hurt, but that could have messed up his own health. He's still a person, he's not just a player. He wants to walk around, jump, run, do all things that you and I can do. So let's not hurt these guys outside of the fact that they're just players, they're people too. You are their doctors in a sense, so you gotta make sure that you take care of them. So yes, the fact that we did get rid of Belton is an amazing thing. The Dallas Mavericks are moving the right direction. In the upcoming days, weeks, or maybe even months, we'll find out who is to replace him. Obviously, it won't be someone like Casey Smith. I wish it was Casey Smith, but hopefully it's someone that can do a good enough job. Or maybe it's Billsboro, who looks like to be a very competent head trainer for the Dallas Mavericks and should be put in that position, as it was Billsboro who did say, hey, Derrick Lively should get the scan. And maybe we'll find out more amongst all these injuries. One thing that we did see that was kind of weird over the last year is that we don't get any updates on injured players. The Dallas Mavericks will have players sidelined for a game or two, and we don't know how severe or when it's going to happen. It isn't really until they are set to return that we find out that they're about to return. But maybe that all changes in the future. But a few things else that we definitely want to take a look at is this right here. Shout out to Knife Talk Mavs. He tweeted out saying, if Luka never got traded, Kyrie wouldn't have torn his ACL, Lively wouldn't have broken his foot on that landing, nobody wouldn't have ran into Gafford's knee, PJ wouldn't sprain his ankle, Najee wouldn't get sick, Omax wouldn't break his wrist, Mavs would have been champions. So this is a little bit of an over-exaggeration. If Luka didn't get traded, I'm sure half of these things still happen, especially Najee getting sick. He was getting sick while Luka was here. But I wanted to show you guys this because a lot of fans truly do believe that Luka getting traded is the reason why all these players got hurt. That is not the reason he got hurt. All these players were getting hurt is because we had poor management from our training staff as far as managing the players' health, and hopefully going forward that changes. Another thing right here. Patrick Dumont reportedly wants more checks and balances in place for the Mavs. Patrick Dumont wants him, Nico Harrison, to bring in an experienced executive. I think he's realized he's got to have some checks and balances that weren't in place, and that was reported about a month ago. So maybe the idea to fire Belton wasn't from Nico Harrison, but was from Patrick Dumont, or maybe this other executive was like, hey, get rid of this guy. Find someone that's actually competent, that actually has qualifications, as Belton didn't have any of the qualifications to be a head trainer in the NBA, according to all reports. He had as much qualifications as you and I, so I guess I could also be the next head trainer for the Dallas Mavericks. But things are going to get better. First, it starts with getting better staff, getting the players healthy, but also a vibe check. You want to make sure that people are excited for the team. People are happy about what's going on. After the season we had, I'm sure it's very hard. But something small can mean a lot. We take a look right here. I'm all over the place. The Mavericks say team legend Rolando Blackman is Dallas's on-stage representative at the May 12th lottery in Chicago. GM Nico Harrison sat on the dais in 2023 when Dallas was last in the lottery, with Michael Finley in the off-camera back room. So a little bit of a change. We will be seeing Rolando Blackman, Dallas Maverick legend, on May 12th, next Monday actually, when we find out which pick we will get in this upcoming draft. Hopefully it's a good one. Even if it's not, we will be fine. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that the firing of Belton was right? Do you think this changes everything? Or we're just going to have another bad season? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We'll have a conversation about it. But that's what I got for you guys today. Thanks for being part of the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.